Okay. Actively wrong because this is our third take.
So anyway, we start anyway.
The reaction to people witnessing, people witnessing a family.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it was such a. It shows how chopped up our family structures are. If people are amazed at seeing a whole family, like same mom, same dad.
Yes, exactly. Now that's I think so. Yeah, which is something else. Eh?
That is so deep, eh?
It's deep. Gore, it has become normal. Gore, mothers and fathers can't stay together and raise their kids. And
same as we don't talk about marriage, like it's not celebrated.
Yeah.
It's secret conversations now.
Because
We openly
Yeah.
we are scared to talk about
I think we're in
the blessings of marriage.
you know what I mean? And I think now we are in an era of I'm independent, I can do things myself. And I think sometimes that's tiring. I don't know. I mean, it's a choice, but we've moved away from the family structure, and which I think initially it was made to be there because everybody has
A
role to play. You know what I mean? Of course, sometimes situations can be unfortunate if you lose a partner with, Modimo Amonka, stuff like that. But I don't think it's something that people look up to now.
And independence thing, it's a good thing. But at the same time, are we realistic in looking at like the end result of it? Like, okay, we now have all this independence, but then a lot of women are lonely.
Yeah.
A lot of men are also lonely. Like a lot of lonely people out there.
And whatever if you look at a child's perspective, I think that's the most that's where it plays a role, because sometimes the child sits there and they trying to understand I'm in one understand ne? And I think I don't know, I think sometimes once ubalungwana is no longer about you, but I'm not saying people must stay in divorced places, toxic abusive marriages. No, that's a no. I don't stand for that. All I'm saying is that when we decide to have families, when you decide to, maybe that's why some people say people must go to marriage counseling, or before you get married, think about it. What is this institution about? It's not only about that day wilonyala. It goes beyond that. There's a whole lot, because then it's not only about me and you going on dates, the nice things. It's no longer about that. But now we need to understand, before we get into this institution, what is it really about. There's kids, there's families coming together, there's the other side of the there's so much, you know what I mean. But I think we don't look as far as that. We just look on, I want to spend the rest of the time with this person, we're gonna get married and we're gonna live happy ever after. The happy ever after, no, there is no such, because you build every day, you grow. I mean, you two people coming from different places, there's no way you're gonna think the same.
Exactly.
It's just that at some point you attracted each other, but there's so much work still after that energy.
I feel in the attraction.
And exactly. And another thing, there's a lady, she said something very interesting. She said, a woman, they elevate them. But what we women, we do vice versa.
Now. Yeah.
How I could only this person who can come and build him and build family, build each other. Relax. And I loved what she said. Sometimes be knowledgeable. Don't lose interest if not at school. Don't lose interest.
Push
harder.
Your own desires,
because the more you elevate yourself, you are happy. But when you get in a marriage, then I also about to follow the dreams. Find a way. I mean, we've got time to do everything. We just choose not to. You know what I mean? But if you want something, you will do it.
Yeah.
You will stop everything and you will do it. I mean, you know what I mean? I know it's hard. I mean, I've got kids. I know it's hard to manage your time. But you need to find hope. Don't kill your dreams, because when you kill your dreams, that thing in weekly say in this marriage to elevate your husband, for him to elevate you, you lose it.
The longevity of family, because Megana, who teaches the most.
You know what I mean?
Because when spending most of the time with the kids, right?
So if you come there, you relax, now you don't care, you've made it. No, marriage is not I think for me, listen, whatever I'm saying here is my opinion.
Yeah.
It's not like, for me, I don't think it's a matter of me saying I've made it, I've got a husband, I'm just gonna sit down and not do anything.
No. That whole thing, yeah. And you know, my own journey in understanding marriage and starting my journey into marriage, you realize how a lot of what we were doing before starting the journey has nothing to do with it. Like at all. It's a whole other ball game. This is you now saying, okay, I'm gonna strip myself naked and be vulnerable to this person so that this person can be vulnerable to me.
Yes.
But because I'm the woman, I now need to be smart in how I go about addressing certain things, getting my own needs met by him that he promised he would. But I need to keep motivating him.
Exactly, true.
But the best way to motivate him is to really motivate yourself. Like, mind your own business so that you don't pick at every little thing that he's doing.
Yeah.
Because you're minding your own mistakes too every day.
Yes, exactly.
So, one of the way we how now we get into marriage as wives and we don't continue the building the legacy together. Now that's happening in society, that's making people a family structure that you have that is not integrated like some of us, because now my family that I'm starting is integrated.
Yes.
And it's now the norm, but then even in that norm, it's hard to try be normal.
Exactly.
It's hard for me to try be a married woman now, because independence, it's so toxic that we get into it as women and we just want to please ourselves. It's no longer about the family structure anymore.
And there's so many, and the components of the family somehow get compromised or they get affected. You know what I mean? So I think sometimes it's okay to let go and just be yourself. And there's power of self, and it also talks to energy, because if you empower yourself, it talks to your energy, it talks to your vibrations, and you don't even have to say so much in your home. Your energy will just transcend in the home and do its work. You know what I mean? So I think most of the time those are things that we don't look at, because of we're chasing something. I don't know what it is these days that we're chasing, but honestly, just finding your peace and making sure when as a person you are empowered, as a woman you're empowered, as a mother, your energy, you're a powerful energy, as you always talk about. A woman has a very powerful energy. You don't have to walk in your room and start saying I'm this and this. Your energy will say a lot.
It speaks for you.
It will speak for you, and it will do things for you. You know what I mean? And that is why how come me hasi happy ka mogai, like hello
ho mnate ko ntlong
ho hectic happy, but when it's a mother, even the kids will feel it. Oh no, mama is not happy.
From the duties from the upkeep of the yard.
You know what? So I think once one can realize, wow, I've got this power, that's when you can realize, sometimes build you in terms of spiritually, mentally, physically, financially, knowledgeable, build you and find your own happiness. Because as they always say, you'll think that some people will give you happiness, or your husband or your kids. It's not like that, and that's why now there's a point I said, hi man, what's again, I'm not gonna hide behind my husband or my kids. I want to stay bare me. Sometimes I can say, oh, me, I'm married. Sometimes we hide behind those things, okay, it's okay. I don't know people's reasons, but I made a decision to say I don't want to hide behind my husband. I don't want people to say so and so's wife, the mother of so and so. I want people to know me as me, Maisha, and call me, identify me like Maisha. You understand? And everything else will come after me, because sometimes we hide behind these things. Of course, marriage is beautiful. The label. I don't want to hide behind labels. I want to deal with me. You know what I mean? I mean, no matter how beautiful my marriage is or my kids or whatever, I don't want to hide behind that. Let that be something not
for people. Linda, even me just mentioning that part of my life in this interview, where I don't want to delve too much into it. And no, I'm glad we're talking about it just now. And I don't want it to be the magnitude of the entire interview, because I know there's more to you that I want to get into.
Absolutely.
And we don't need to be talking about, because if we're talking about our marriages, we are talking about
else.
Another person. I'm talking about someone, because if I'm talking about my relationship, I am talking about, he needs to be here to speak for himself too.
Absolutely.
So I'm representing it, and I'm not here to represent my marriage.
It's what it is. It's something that you, when you're at home, it's there, it stays there, and that's it.
It's between you and that person.
And that's the story in my life. That's the story that if I were to tell any story in my life, I would talk about the story of self-empowerment, of power of self, because there's so much power within self. You know what I mean? And that's what I'm saying. If you are at that level, and like Sophie, I'm still trying to build myself to become that. You don't have to do much. That's why depending on you, your flow, understand. So that's the level I aspire to be at, and also building in me, building in myself, and things like that. And
so now that we've spoken about the risks of independence this time that we are living in. Yes, it's a good thing, and we are exploiting it.
No, we have our independence. I mean, when you have your own business, that's your independence.
We are exploiting it.
You know, it's just that you just need to measure it. I don't know. Now I've learned to measure it. Independent. No. Now I can't be independent.
I'm a woman. For me alone.
No, please, no. So I think for me, I measure it where I want to be independent and where I feel like people around me, my kids, my husband must come in. You know,
where get independence, it's you and it's your community or your tribe. There's always that. There's always that.
Yeah, absolutely. So it for me, it's just a matter of balance and measuring, because sometimes you will die inside. You know, there are a lot of people who are working, but they are dead inside. And sometimes I don't blame people, because it's also where we come from and how we were raised. You become fortunate once you. That's why I think. That's why I think sometimes that's why knowledge is important. And how you work on knowledge, there is that knowledge and there's that life knowledge. There are books, there's YouTube, there's education. Education is everywhere. School of it. Yes, school is important, but I feel like no, everybody has access to knowledge. We've got books these days, we've got social media, which has everything. Internet has everything. So I think some of us coming from the background, but you become fortunate once you tap into that space where you say, you know what, I want to learn outside of what I know, you know, and that's when you're gonna see another world. You know, there's this, there's that, and then you start meeting people, you start understanding certain things, and then you create your path from not from where you come from, not from what you were told, but from what you are learning and what feels good as you learn these things. What feels good in you, then you take it, then you create your path.
The foundation, basically.
Exactly.
So sis. This thing, okay, so the whole basis of what we are ultimately saying, let me just add meat to our conversation and maybe enlighten the people who are listening or viewing. What we are driving, or should I speak for myself? What I am driving is for women to understand the power of them being born women. Number one, right? And also in that, the power of their mental freedom coming from self-love, self-acceptance, and doing the work to be a better you for self, number one. And also in that journey to shy away from this new thing, we are all healing. There's this whole thing of people being self-aware, which is a good thing. But a lot of it comes with teaching people to just be alone. Like my worth has gone up, so I don't take this. Yeah, it's like all about I don't want this, I don't want this, I don't want this, I don't want this, I don't want this. I can get better, I can get better. But we are not learning how to finesse the getting better as women. The getting better, that's being taught out there is still very harsh and very masculine. And then we end up being in depressed zones as women because we are going about it in ways that we as women shouldn't be. So what we are trying to teach, and the reason why I also have you here is because for me, you also show the mind of a woman who understands her power in her femininity and being subtle and being soft, but at the same time being very powerful.
Absolutely.
And very
absolutely. Like going back to when I talk about children, I want to say to a woman out there that has children, and you know what, it doesn't matter papa ngwana o tsamaile, papa ngwana o teng, it doesn't matter, right? You need to understand your power. Right, when I had these kids, and you know, something, it's not only a woman, people will say, a brother.
That's why,
like, we are judged all the time. If you don't have kids, people will say, when are you going to have a kid? So here are all these women with different situations when it comes to kids, you know what I mean? And we are all judged. And the sad thing, sometimes women themselves, we judge
by
each
other
other, and we all have our own journeys. We all have, rather than me understanding, okay, when I want and I don't understand the journey, and I don't understand why you are there. You know what I mean? So once you understand your power, you understand there's a God in you. Whatever your revelation is or where you are in life, it's what's in you and it's what you're manifesting. And sometimes, you know, just now, when I was having this kids, people say, oh, we're not you know, and all that. But you know what? I was so
pregnant, but pregnant to happen. Or keep pregnancy last.
I hope you know, let me tell you, you know, when you understand, in my heart, I know, no, I get so fit, you know. And I'm going to put a question, I now tell them, no, I can't answer that. Only God knows. And because this whole thing, when in life, it has nothing to do with my husband. It has nothing to do with it. It's between me and God.
Not even between you. Let me catch you there.
Yes.
Not even between you and God. Between God and this child.
Exactly. Oh, thank you. You said even much better. Between God and this child. And then now I felt it. Even with my last born, I felt it. Okay, now I think I'm done. You know, I could feel it, but all the time I felt, no man. And even when people, now I stood my ground, sis. I don't care who says what. I come there, I'm confident. This is me, this is my situation, and I'm gonna own it. It's not like I own it. This is me. Judge me all you can. But as women, if we can learn that with our different situations, we are still women. We are still women. We still have the power. Whether papa wana papa wana. That's why let's not look exactly whether wana. Let's stop. That's why let's stop looking at outside of us.
Yeah. External.
It has nothing to do with outside of us. It has everything to do with inside of us. That is why if we can go down, whether by 10, your power will, you know, will pull you through. It will pull you through.
To work.
If you're trying for a baby, I'll say, sister, keep believing. See it happening.
Exactly.
You know, like invest in that. Speak to it. Because God, the Bible says God gave us dominion over all things.
Exactly.
Command. He's a God that commands. He does not ask for permission. Don't want people to validate and say, you must do 1, 2, 3. Your problem. You are God. You need to move that mountain. One understand? In a room. and talk to these mountains. Talk to these mountains.
Communicate.
And I love when you say, talk to your womb. Talk to the womb. You can do this. I believe in you. You can do it, And understand, we don't understand these journeys, but I can say, do not give up. Do not listen to people. Just tell yourself, this is my journey. This is my mountain.
It is
it has nothing to do with outside. So talk to these mountains we all have mountains.
Every mountain in your life.
Talk to them. Close yourself in a room.
Yes.
God lives in you.
Yeah.
Unleash that God.
Yeah.
When we look at, as I say, God is a God that commands. How could be permission? God says, let there be light, let there be dark, and
it happened.
And it happened. So if we can, that's the thing that we are missing now. I think as people, and Ellen, I'm still learning because these things is not like they come easy. It's a manifestation and it's a process.
Yes.
It's a process. So obviously the devil, he will always create distractions for you to work this journey. And obviously when he can start detecting you are in this journey, he will bring distractions.
Really?
You understand? So all I can say is, as women, I wish we could tap in that and realize our power. And now that's my story that I would say to any woman, that we have the power within us. The other day I was thinking, I think a body of a woman goes through a lot. Like you go through menstruation, you go through pregnancy. If you have challenges, you have, and
menopause, fibroids,
and then ask yourself, there's something special about then menopause. Now you have to deal with all these things. At the same time, you need to be a nurturer in your home, you need to be a lover, you need to be a daughter. And that means there's something about a woman. Well, understand?
There's everything
about a woman. So we really, like what's about in sister, we can talk about everything, but more than anything, we need to strive to empower ourselves the best way that we can.
And you touched on, which is the reason why you are here too, this conversation on fertility and how you can be judged for having banabangata and still be judged for having a husband who's raising these kids with you.
Exactly.
Right? Over time, being a single parent or being a parent not with the child. Let's over explain it, because single parent. I can't say I raised the child alone. I haven't been a single parent. Be it help from my parents, help from certain friends who babysat for me. I can't say, even my child's father. More to something. I'm not single parenting. Even my husband, parenting this child with me. I'm not a single parent, bro. But I've been judged for not being the papa one. Even someone along the way was like, so I'm like, I don't know. How papa why? Why do I need to? And then like, no, so even that fear, people have gone to that extreme of keeping relations with people they've had their first child with, even though it wasn't a fruitful relationship.
Exactly.
Okay, every 2 years they become intimate, or whenever. If a child comes out of it, but we are both just living our own lives when we don't want to be together. But we are making these kids so that they know they have the same mother, same father. But it's a cycle of toxicity for even the kids. But okay.
Exactly, which is they can't grow in a family that's like that.
Same mother, but fear of what people will say, fear of. And one thing that we should be proud of as Matwabans, we've always grown up in integrated families. Over time, never say discuss and no, same deadly mang. All you knew, ke ragadi or ke mamkholo or ke mang. That's it. As black people, we've never really had that, because even yesterday I was watching, or over the weekend I was watching a documentary on the mad queen of Madagascar, and she was adopted by the king.
Yes.
Apparently, even old tradition yakwa, if you marry the king and then he dies, but before he died he didn't have a son with him, whatever child you have as a son after that with whoever is still the next in line.
Oh yeah, great. Yeah.
And I realized, well, no, that's actually how we as Africans have always done it. Like,
yes.
if your husband died, his brother would take over.
Yes, as the
you
wife,
see.
yeah.
But over time, the shame, no. So I was like, no, I'm not gonna do that. If I have another child with someone, I'll have that child. But funny enough, you saying you decided, no, I want a big family. Now I remember having this conversation with myself as you saying these prayers with ourselves.
Yes.
I think I was still in primary school, starting high school, and someone was asking, we're talking children. I think it was a boyfriend then. And I said, I don't see myself having a lot of kids, maybe one child. And if I get married, I'll get married older.
Yes.
Right? I'm 37 now, and I think I'll be married in the age that I thought.
Yes.
I've had all this time.
Yes.
Now I have a 13-year-old who's almost 14. And then it's possible that I might not have another child.
Yes.
But then now my mind frame changed. I realized also that now the reason why I've been open to it. When some things we decide before they happen.
Yes.
So now my reason for not wanting another child has been my fears.
My fears, exactly. Yeah, your fears.
My traumas.
Oh,
I don't want to raise a child.
Now they're gone.
And besides, like, even just working, that's why I wanted to have the conversation with you. I fear what my body can do. That is crazy.
Yeah, okay.
I fear what my body is here to ultimately do, and is to breed.
I know, exactly.
How crazy is that?
So you is it the fear of how will it change your body, or what will happen inside in bringing this?
Not even. My fear is the whole single parenting thing.
What if you're on
You see, now that's why now I can say I wasn't a single parent. I've had people with me the whole way.
Yeah.
But that fear, the trauma, or the exercise of doing it alone, it created that thing of me saying, but I couldn't explain why I had. So the fear is not my body changing.
I get what you're saying. What if you raise alone?
That fear of raising a child alone. But now God has blessed me with a partner. Okay, sharp.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
All right, I have a partner now. And I had to sit down and say, then why do I still fear? I had to start asking myself, okay, so why am I still scared? Oh, it's that trauma. Okay, where's that trauma coming from? All right, okay, so what's the worst that could happen? Are you guaranteed that even this partner now is going to be with you for the rest of this child's life? No, I'm not guaranteed. Okay, so what are you scared of? That's what I'm asking myself. I ask myself, okay, so what am I scared of?
Yeah.
Am I scared of God's will? Like these things.
Exactly. That's why I love when you say God's will. Ne? I think there's a saying that says, when God puts you through it, He'll help you through it. Look how old your child Uhudil. Where was God? Wow, where was God? It's just that sometimes, of course, it's normal rebellion fear, and it's sometimes our journeys get so difficult that we feel like, listen, we all have mountains in our lives, but if you can say, you haven't tested, no, really, I'm a believer. No matter how challenging at that point it was, I said, God, I never went outside. I don't want to lie. Sometimes how life feel harder, you feel like find out I said, I'm gonna pray about this. God, and God shows up. And God shows up, and sometimes in our marriages we shouldn't pray for problems that come between us, but if really we're being challenged, let it be problems that challenge the both of us, because that makes us stronger.
Work through it together,
we work through it together. Really true. Then both of us,
because we are working on ourselves individually.
We work on ourselves individually. And another thing, as I always say, sis, as you say, this things is between God and the child. Do you know what I mean? So sometimes just say, God, I give my womb to you. As you know this child, what is good for this child, you know. Nakupa umfe strength and the wisdom and the understanding to be able to go through this journey.
I can't believe like my fear also was, my other fear was, besides raising this child alone, but I get independence, I can still do it. If it happens, I'll do it. But also for the upkeep of this child. Why would I fear this child's upkeep? Because a child is one of the things that shows you, God, things always work out.
Exactly.
Things always work out. Like, because you can, like, but why was I? Every year you worry about maybe when I still lived that life of worrying, January, like school fees, the
uniform stationery.
But you survive it every time, right? For example, every winter it's like, oh shit, I must get in for in. But you survive
you can
every
imagine
winter. Yeah.
But you see God, you know, even our families, and remember, my mom, I don't know my mom. And that's where this thing comes from. I was really very emotional about this. That's where this thing comes from. But I didn't have fear for what if my kids lose me. Because, you know, without a mother, like you miss so many things. I don't want to lie. You miss
things
a
you
lot,
don't know.
you know. And okay, maybe your father gets a partner, you get attached, they go, if they separate, they go, you need to attach to another mother. You can imagine what that does to a person. But you know, when I prayed, I said, God, you know what I mean, give me strength, I can do this, you know what I mean. So it's not an easy journey doing these things, but let's learn to put things in God's hands, and we will have challenges. Challenges. That's a lie. But one, we needs to understand, when I'm in the storm, what do I do? That's where the difference is. What do we do in the midst of the storm? That's what separates us. We all have storms, but what do we do in the middle of the storm? Do I believe in myself? Do I look in me? Do I introspect? Sometimes you need to we introspect. Sometimes I introspect. Like
the disciples running to Jesus on the boat.
Exactly.
Jesus.
And thank you.
We are dying.
Yes.
Jesus had to introspect and say, okay, the storm is coming. Okay, what can I do? Must I scream? Must I know? He was calm.
Yes. And that's the thing. What do we do in that situation? And God is powerful. Like you say, ujampile dilo. You know, today there was for years I couldn't go out, like Saturdays. Like we used to go watch shows. We couldn't go out watch shows because we've got small kids. But recently, my oldest daughter, it was such an emotional moment, and she said, "Mama, go. You know,
I'll stay with
the little ones. They even give you their jacket. They even say, Mama, you can take my jacket. And even traveling at night, it was like something new. Like, gosh, when last did I do this? But that's when you see the power of God. That's why I always say, people say, why are you doing it? Why are you making so many kids? But today, when I walk in a room with my kids, people will say, how do you do it? But imagine if I listen to them say, hey, but you can't judge, because that's what I'm saying. To me, when something that I felt in me, it felt like I have to do this. It was something like that's why I understand if another woman says, now my pregnancy was tough. That's her journey. Well, understand. That's why we need to understand our journeys are not the same. If mutafilo pregnancy are nearly painful, or
even that is judged.
Even next time I'm going to lose my life. Now we must judge that person. I feel you can't do that.
Even women who have never experienced pregnancy and they just point blank decided I don't want a child.
Yes, because they have a reason, and we need to respect that. You cannot go and command I can't do that.
And you know, for us women to get this respect that we demand from the world, respecting each other.
Yeah,
we need
and the unfortunate part, that's not going to happen. It means Rona, as women, we need to respect Go when you need to find it to respect yourself, pull yourself.
Each to their own first.
And I love that we are sitting in this couch, and when it comes to kids, we have a different situation. But here we are, we're not judging each other.
Right.
We're learning from each other. And that's how it should be.
Yes.
That I mustn't say, when you judge me, you also get judged. Hey. But that's what I'm saying, because sometimes now always say this man of mine is and these kids that I hear, God knows why they had to come through me. But they have their own journeys.
Yes.
One understand that God knows. So it's not really about me. And if Mujima say, oh no, when I it's okay.
Yeah.
If I say, okay, maybe Wanaka, this is not it. It's like, I don't know how people feel, but I feel that these are conversations. That's why we need to learn to speak to our one and whatever we believe as a higher power. Because like this one, if Mutu you need, that relationship has to be so strong, because that's where you're going to get your answers.
Exactly.
That's where you're going to get your strength.
Not wishy-washy.
Not
must pick a side.
Confused. So that's why. So now I know when I'm in my corner, I pray. I know, and I always say, okay, I'm here to get my answers. I'm here to get wisdom. And you see, God will come through. Sometimes not how you think.
But that's one of the biggest mistakes we make. We are taking away the joy of the surprises of life. Like we want to know everything. Like
and it happened now.
Anyways, I'm starting to enjoy just asking and waiting and seeing how it comes.
Absolutely. And this thing, and what's about I don't know if I read it right. Your things must follow you. How can you tell her, it's not right? That's how God says. That's why God says there's power in the tongue. If you have prayed, understand. So that is why I'm saying this journey, but on your personal self-knowledge,
self-awareness,
it's very important. So sometimes you find that when you are broken, but you want somebody to, I don't think you'll get that. You'll always attract maybe same broken people. That's what people say.
And until I also we saw that thing, like we as women, we only attach it to just finding a man. Like,
and it has nothing.
And we're not attaching it to everything, every relationship in our lives. Are scrutinizing relationships with the women in our lives? Are these women healthy?
Exactly.
For themselves?
Exactly.
Are they looking after themselves?
Absolutely. Exactly. And we are our first ministry, our homes, our first ministry. Before you can even go outside, you can be a healer outside healing people, but in your home it's a mess. How does that work?
Exactly.
There's not something. That's why you find most pastor respect. Why devil? Understand? So those are things that we must pray. That's the wisdom. God, before I even go outside, can it start in my home? Can it start with my kids? Can it start
your
with me
home
actually?
Being your altar.
Can
you
exactly
be your own altar.
Exactly. And so that even when I go there, I know my foundation is on point.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Now I feel I cannot go outside if what's here
right.
No, I need to teach, I need to minister. My home is my first ministry. I am my own first ministry. I need to be able to control myself. I need to be able to guide myself. I need before I can even go to my kids, before I can even go to my husband.
That's the other thing about parenting.
Because sometimes we're not sure we are the poison in our families. And in black families, it is into the poison to our own families. You must look at, when our kids is a reflection of us.
You.
I yes, something like you put if given one I can maybe a limpeto high or a certain to
Now I got
now I got Nike cuts are basing to go to a cuts of the pizza.
You
know, I've learned that no,
and it keeps you in check, right?
I've learned to do that. No, it means it has to start
and
with me.
Learning to apologize early.
Yes.
I've learned to apologize to my son. Like, I'm so sorry for the times where I used to hate you because you were doing out of line and stuff because I wasn't understanding what you were going through. He says, yeah, it's okay. And I was like, no, it's not okay. He says, I'm saying it's okay because you were not just doing it. You're doing it because I was acting out of turn. And I said, yes, I understand that, but it wasn't supposed to be like that way.
Yes.
So self-love as a parent where because I can remember our parents.
Yes,
it's so bad that I get like even my partner like arumrumi aruma bana haba fele arumani we not those it's out just the thing instead he forces himself, mama, can I make you coffee?
Exactly, and that's how to be.
For every damn thing, right?
Exactly.
So now we are learning to cover ourselves because what's our kholo never chica so now we're trying to change that.
Exactly. Wow. So when it's a lot, it's a lot. What's a lot? And I think I saw it on your status one day that we are afraid of ourselves. We go to what's face I'm the poison
to admit
and whatever once you do that because then you start to realize no, actually maybe I'm 50% of my problems it's
me and it always is.
Yes, it always is. Exactly,
you are 50% of your problems.
Yeah. So now as I grow I've learned I must keep my peace and just see you'll see around even when they deal with you'll see peace. Of course there'll be those moments maybe you trigger, but these things get consistent. So once you do them, because even when you come to that moment something says come back.
Self-love is a lifestyle.
Yes, come back. So nothing as women we need to start learning to be patient in ourselves and invest in ourselves. Yes, you love your kids. Sometimes you feel like no, today I'm just gonna sit.
Something I've taught my son, which I'm now kind of trying to break, but it's not the time. I'm also going with Wawan and Tokobuzan, he can sit in his room, do his own thing. I can sit in my room, do my own thing. There are times where we sit together, watch something once in a while, which is also, I guess, the con of the time we are living in now. But one thing that I am grateful for is that he's learned his independence.
Yes.
Solitude is something he understands and he thrives in, right? But one thing I've taught him is I need time on my own.
Yes.
He knows it.
Yes.
Then he can say, no, I just want to be alone. Or he can say, no, I don't want to talk about this now. Like, space, man. Maybe some personal space.
Personal space, yeah. And just finding yourself. And really, what I think I want to learn now is our work. Of course, we stay home moms, we work from home. The other challenge could be we work on the phones. Sometimes you need content.
Cut off, yeah.
So I'm learning right now, okay, how do I cut off so that, because automatically they're going to be on their phones. Everybody's going to be on their phone. So Leo is something I'm trying to navigate. How am I going to sort this one out so that man ngwana dlale ka le bana phela se ba rata di phone ngwana dlale ka koloi ya drive koloi mo fatshe mo or ka bicycle ka re yo batla phone Coco because they can sit on the phone. So but listen, we are evolving and we need to find a way on how in this spaces we still maintain that thing we are a family and we work together.
One thing that I'm also advocating I think as part of my journey is, guys, no woman is born to be alone.
Exactly.
No woman is born to be alone. Life is better when you have a partner, especially if it's someone who understands you and understands your purpose, understands your gifts. But life is better with a partner.
Yeah.
Life is better with a community. Life is better with a tribe. So we are
Yes.
pushing self-love, but not self-love away from us nurturing our femininity as women. We are here
Yes.
to be taken care of.
But sis, when you explore self-love, that's when you're going to realize, oh, I need to have somebody in my life.
And it will
Because
trigger
it makes you
when
soft.
because you start the journey,
Yes,
right?
you're at peace
but
as
that's my
well.
problem now with how it's being done, how it's being taught out there. Like spiritual, not even spiritual coaching, but life coaching is any and everywhere now. Where it's like, put yourself first. And yes, these things are all there, but adikenye, the discipline that comes for the different genders. It's different for men, it's different for women, right? So Runa Basai Runa, it needs to come in a way that reminds us to still be soft. That's what Pusha the flower
Because we're
thing.
naturals.
Yes, like
We're
so, like you see how
naturals.
delicate a flower is when you. But that thing is strong. It can sit in the sun. It can take rain. It can take
Yes.
harshness of weather. But it looks delicate. It's so strong. But Runa, we are getting advice that is not so honest.
Yes, and I think if maybe a person finds themselves in this space, I think it's time to pull back and ask yourself why. Because I think even a child, that's why it takes a man and a woman. It shows how we need each other in a way, you know. So I think sometimes maybe there's healing that needs to happen when you find yourself saying such things, Hore, I can do it on my own. I can, you know, because honestly, that's why they say it takes a village. You know what I mean? So you need somebody to
Yeah.
you know, to be there to support you in those days when you are down and out. So I think yes, maybe if you are in that space, don't rush going to some immediately. Find it in you. What is it? What healing do I need? Then automatically I think somebody will come through, because khanya you'll be taking out the thorns.
So
You know?
we're still advocating taking the time to work on self.
Yes.
For one, taking the
Yes.
time to work on self,
So that
no
you can
matter
attract
what.
you are.
Yeah.
Because once you heal, your tribe will come. That energy, your vibrations will bring that person to you.
Yeah.
That's why you know, it will be a beautiful place when you know how do salam morago.
Hey.
Because Mudimu ke Mudimu wa lerato, it's a God of love, God of peace. As motho batho bana bana ba hae ba sokola. I don't think God can bring us. It's just that what we were taught, somehow the knowledge that we have pushed us from these things that God has for us. The knowledge, because it's sitting here, it's what you attract, what you know.
Yeah.
Understand? What you
Yeah.
know. But I think once you start relearning and start learning these things about you, then your things will start following you. But I don't think listen, these things are hard, especially somebody who's sitting there is going through a lot and thinking it's a hard place to be at. Understand? That's why at this time some would wish that it's just that we don't have those communities anymore where you can just have somebody hold you and say
It's okay.
It's okay. Understand? So we don't have that. So mutu or other ways from where they are, they just give up and just say, I fuck, you know what? I don't care.
No one cares.
No one cares. And then now it means then that person totally gives up. And unfortunate thing is then you attract.
If no one cares because you don't care.
Yeah, that's why Satanism, they'll tell you the reason why I joined that
no one
thing
cares.
is because nobody cared, and those people showed me fake love. So that's what I'm saying. What makes us differ is what happens in the midst of a storm. How do you deal when the storm is in your life?
Yeah, I think, you know, our biggest curse is wanting to belong, like the search of wanting to belong. So I think one of the things that you have taught today, Kehore, stillness helps you create the things that belong to it. Stillness helps you create the journey in the things that belong to you and only you, and that are only set for you.
Yes.
It's not a matter
No.
Stillness to know, oh, okay, this is for me. So I think that's one of the things that we root down. No matter the situation, have your 10 kids, have no kids, have one kid.
It's okay.
Still wait for your child, but that is still your journey and yours alone. You are still the creator of it, because also if there are women struggling to have children, they can adopt. There's that too. So there's always options, right? So whatever that journey is, it's personal, but what I'm trying to push more is for us women to be kinder to each other and be more sensitive to each other.
And from what you're saying, because we are in a life that we are in, where women are not kind, even though we can say Amanda, women power to the women. All I can say, dear women, find your strength in the midst of your storm. Even if the next woman doesn't show you kindness, because it's where we are, learn to clap for yourself. Learn to tell yourself it's okay. Learn to look in the mirror and say, you are the solution that I'm looking for. Because if we expect other women to be kind to us, we then look outside and it's like they don't care.
Everyone has their own phones, their own cameras, their own lights.
No, even libaside, they become spiteful.
Because everyone has their own thing to worry about.
So I think in the times that we live in today, find your own, be your own cheerleader, be your own place to say, I'm going to be okay, it's okay. Talk to your mountains, close yourself, like things that you've spoken already. Speak to those mountains. Make sure you have a strong relationship with your higher power, whatever your belief is, and just be intact. If the floor that you walk on is intact, next. Even if somebody can come and tell you it's not going to do anything to you, because you need to understand this journey. That's it. It has nothing to do outside of you, who's saying what, your husband, your kids, your family, his family, or whatever, your neighbor. It has nothing to do with those things. It's you. Everything, it's
for the mere fact you are here. God still, or the universe, whatever, you are still here for a purpose, for that mere fact.
And we have different situations, hey, like when I realize when mama, because my sister will stay behind. Why are we staying behind? But I'm so grateful. At least she was very loving. Understand? So that was the pain. Then I realized, we stay behind because mama. Understand? Then you grow, and then these things, it's pains, but you learn to say it's okay. And I cannot sit here and say, celebrate a Mother's Day. Celebrate it, because God gives us. It's my journey. It was
learning to be
like
happy for others too.
Exactly.
That power of learning to celebrate other people,
and you're attracting those things to you. People don't understand how to celebrate the babang.
If you see a post you like it.
You are
bringing that power back to self.
You're bringing the power back to self, and these things will follow you. Things that you love. The hate is a weakness. Gossip is a weakness as women. Jealousy is a weakness. And those are places where negative forces play on. Understand? Once you realize this is the most powerful energy and force in this world, it's love. And you're starting by loving yourself. Bona, you have done so much.
Self-love is a lifestyle.
Yes. Just learn to love no matter what. Learn to love. See with love. And I feel like I have your partner.
No.
Everyone in the
kindness.
Yes, kindness. Just be kind. I know it's not easy, but it is easy. I always say spirituality is complicated, but yet very easy.
It's
so simple. It's such a simple thing, and it's just a matter of I can say even carrying.
It's simple, and you're like it's. But there's so much to say about it. The simplicity in it. It's so complex,
much,
but it's not.
It's not complex.
Yeah.
And even consistency. You see, once you are consistent, then it's going to be automatic because you are intentional about it. Somebody say our thoughts. If our thoughts did everything that we think, understand that, because that's why we need to learn to control our minds. So now that's where the consistency comes in, that you need to be consistent in thinking the thing, then it becomes automatic. It just comes to you.
Natural.
So now that it's a journey, my sister, that I'm working on. This thing made my table. I get the Bible say he sets a table before me in the presence of my enemies. My cup overflows. that table must just come to me.
It's your table.
So meaning I have to relearn.
Yeah.
Yes, I have to.
And then
relearn.
at some point, learning to be the table.
Exactly, to be the table. Exactly. Wabon.
So, sis, I think in closing, so we are doing it reverse. Tell us who you are, Gwenamang, and we are going away. We are saying bye bye with you telling us who you are.
Okay,
But I get that take, but this is also based on everything we've discussed.
I've discussed on the
and
other
the
tapes.
teachings we've said to other women.
Okay, na kina Maisha Manamela. I'm a believer of life. I don't know, in the first take I said my name means good life in Swahili. I'm an advocate for power of self. Yeah, that's me. Even if there are a whole lot of other things, but I stand for that. I stand to say I'm an advocate of self-love, and the rest will follow.
Where can people find you on TikTok? And she's also actually one of my favorite saleswomen out there.
Yes.
So she's a sales coach too. But what platforms are you on? Where can people find you?
Okay, I'm on everything is Maisha Manamela. Be on Instagram, Facebook, Maisha Manamela. Yeah, that's where you'll find. Even on TikTok, yeah, Maisha Manamela. And thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here, sis. This is an interesting journey for both of us.
Yeah, it is.
And I'm excited about yours and the work we're going to do together.
Yeah.
Because I'm also in a journey of building my tribe.
Yes.
So I'm building a whole new tribe for myself.
Yeah.
Because we think tribe tends to be like attachment is different, but it can be factual attachment only, be it spiritual and business and self-growth. That's enough because it's external, it's outside of the home.
Yes.
So it's
and never mind, it's not an easy thing to get your tribe. The road is lonely, but eventually one will come, another one, another one. So yeah, I'm happy to be here. I mean, it also talks to my journey. It means I'm on the right track.
Right. Thank you for being a part of my journey, sis. Have a blessed journey ahead. And I won't just say day, but journey. I'm so excited for you. Like every week there's something new. Like, hey, she's pushing. We pushing each other. No more hustling.
No more hustling.
We are pushing.
We're not hustlers. We're pushing.
Yes.
We're pushing. No, thank you so much, and thank you to your viewers as well.
Yeah, viewers, listeners, thank you.
Listeners.